Good day, everyone, and welcome to Home at the Hollow. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today. This is a totally spontaneous video. I got inspired. I was in a conversation with a friend and I was inspired, and I told my friend, I said, well, I'll be happy to share this recipe with you. It is for an apple cinnamon chia pudding for breakfast. Oddly enough, as odd as it sounds, it is for breakfast. I've had this numerous times. It is delicious. It is super healthy. Now, please bear in mind, I am not a dietitian. I am not a nutritionist or anything like that. So, but I do have the calorie count for this, but the recipe that I'm sharing serves two, which is why I'm putting it in two different jars here, because if I put it in just one big container, I would eat it all. I would simply eat it all. So, you know, I ration it a little bit. So this serves two. I've got 4 tablespoons of chia seeds. To that, I am going to add 4 tablespoons of maple syrup. This is going to be so good, guys. And that's 4. I'm going to add a half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And you guys know I don't really measure it, but just a little taste of vanilla extract. 1 cup of almond milk. I use unsweetened almond milk. Certainly if you use regular milk, low-fat milk, skim milk, it's going to, you know, alter the calorie count for this particular dish. But that's yeah, probably, you know, not too bad, but I always have unsweetened almond milk here anyway. 2/3 of a cup of unsweetened applesauce. And I'm going to add about half a teaspoon-ish of cinnamon. Or more, depending on you, more. And I'm going to get just this stirred up a little bit, or a lot. So we're stirring and stirring, and it's already kind of starting to thicken up a little bit. Let's see. I'm just gonna probably make a mess, and that's okay. That's me in the kitchen, I can tell you. I'm going to make a mess. And there you go. I know it doesn't look like really delicious, but I can assure you, oh my goodness. So I'm going to just place these overnight in the fridge, and when I come back, I will be sauteing some apples and maybe have a few sprinkling of a few pecans on top. And I'm getting ready to saute my apple here. What I decided to do is I went ahead and cubed the entire apple, although the recipe really calls for you to add about half a cup of sauteed apple in the recipe. I just went ahead and did the entire apple. I put about, see if I can see, about this much butter, just a slight touch of butter just to keep this from sticking. And I'm going to just go ahead and get started on this. Whoops. And we're just going to saute it down until it's as soft as I want it to be. I mean, you do however you prefer to do it. And it just so happens I have a few chopped pecans left over from the coconut praline cake, which if you didn't see that, I'll drop a link below. But a few pecans to sprinkle on top. The original recipe, as far as calorie counts and things like that are concerned, half a cup of apples and 1 tablespoon per serving, 1 tablespoon of chopped pecans. Of course, if you have walnuts or whatever you prefer, or if you don't want nuts at all, then that's entirely up to you. But I'm going to saute this, and then we will be back to have some breakfast together this morning. And we're still sauteing here. It's looking just excellent. And I did try to pay really good attention to my knife cuts here on my apples. And that's mostly because I didn't want any to be too small and basically turn into applesauce, because the chia pudding mixture is, you know, like a pudding, so I don't want to add any more liquid to it. I don't mind getting a little bit of a bite of a more firm apple, but if you overcook these, it would be a shame, because they add a lot of texture and of course nutrition to your apple chia breakfast pudding. And I'm back. I just decided to sit here for a wee bit, have my coffee. Oh my goodness. It's an early morning. It's a very early morning. I've got a pulled pork slow roasting in the oven, and it's going to be a rainy, cold, dreary day here in East Tennessee. But I wanted to just have a wee bit of this for you guys. I really, I hope that you guys give this a chance. I started working with different beans and things like that after my doctor, probably your doctor too, told you, you need more fiber in your diet. Oh guys, yum. Excuse the mess here, but the pecans give it a nice, good texture, a good crisp texture. And like I said, I didn't overcook the apples too much. And the blend of the warm, tart apples mixed in with the cool chia pudding is delicious. It's a good alternative to cooking oatmeal, and I eat oatmeal as well, but it's a good alternative. It'll give you a little bit of extra fiber. So, cheers. It's delicious, guys. It's not for everybody, but this serving with half a cup of apples, a tablespoon of pecans, and all of the pudding that you saw me make yesterday, and I've got a little bit left here in the jar that just didn't fit here, is 233 calories. I'm not going to get into comparing this has this much fiber and oatmeal has this much fiber. It's early. It's very early. I mean, it's like not even 6 yet. And I've done this, and I've got a big roast in the oven, and it's not even, but anyway, this is delicious, guys. You guys are gonna love it. Give it a try. If you can find chia seeds in a smaller container, I just think it's just so worth the extra fiber and the healthiest thing that you could probably have for breakfast. And there you go. So I want to thank you guys again so much for joining me. Give this a try. You're gonna love it. The cinnamon, it really comes through in the chia pudding. You don't need to add any sugar or salt or anything else to this dish. Our sweetness comes from, of course, the apples. I added nothing to it. You saw what I cooked. I added maybe that wee bit of butter, but yeah, I didn't add any sugar, salt, or anything. It is just an incredible meal. So there. So when you're feeling, you know, maybe a little bloated over the holidays, and you just want something that you know is good for you, there you go. And it's an overnight thing. I mean, it's not going to get a lot better. Thank you for joining me here, right here, home at the Hollow. Bye, guys.